There's a new blackjack variant called Double Down Madness that may have made its way to your casino by now. It's about a year old or so and starting to kind of infiltrate to some of the smaller casinos, some of your locals. And we're going to talk today in this video why it's actually really bad and you should probably not play Double Down Madness. All right, we'll get into kind of some specific hands. I have 4 hands kind of cherry picked for us we're going to go over in a second. But real quick, some numbers. You can usually find a regular blackjack game at your local casino that can get the house edge to about 0.5% or 1/2 in the house's advantage. All right, so you're almost 50-50 odds there. Whereas Double Down Madness, the best you're going to do with that is about 2.07. So from 1/2% to over 2%, that is 4 times worse odds that you have playing at this game just because you want to double down any points with any cards that you get. All right, we're going to show why that actually might be a bad thing here in just a second. But let's go over some examples. This game is dealt a little bit differently than regular blackjack. You only get 1 card. Right, there's some other rules too. We'll talk about why this is so bad in a second, but the dealer gets their card first, right? And then you get your card face up, and then the dealer gets their second card, their whole card. And let's say this is our first hand. By the way, this also uses a completely different basic strategy that Wizard of Odds or Michael Shackelford found out. I'll pop those on the screen here for you. And with that, this is the optimal way to play this game. And so 9 versus dealer's 5, this is actually a double down according to this. You can double down anytime. And when you double, of course, you just get 1 more card. But I could double down again if I wanted to. But one of the reasons that Double Down Madness is so bad is because I can no longer split, right? We just start out with 1 card. There's no way to split just 1 card. Whereas in normal blackjack, you get 2, and with pairs, you can split any 2 cards of equal value if basic strategy calls for it. And so here, 9s, even though normal basic strategy in blackjack tells me to split those, I can no longer do that. Now, an 18 versus the dealer's 5, according to their charts, this is going to be like a hard 18, is a stand at this point. So let's see what happens here. Dealer would have a 15, 16, and also 18. So 18, 18, hey, that's a push. We didn't lose any money, but what if this was regular blackjack? Let me back up those cards a little bit. Remember, you'd get your 2 to start with here. Put the double down back. Instead of being like this, if I take these 2 cards back, remember our 5 was on top, just like this. We would split our 9s, and we would have to put out an additional 100, so kind of similar. Again, they'll pull those cards back in the same order. The ace would give us a soft 20. We would stand on that. The 2 is actually a 11 now for this 9 and 2. And 11, of course, would double down. So we actually get more money out on the table with regular blackjack. And now I can double that. Okay, 21. So now we're dipping into other cards that maybe weren't in there. Now, of course, I am cherry picking this a little bit. Dealer has 15 and 18. So even when they don't bust, we would have won $300 here as opposed to a Double Down Madness. We just pushed. It was, we didn't lose or win any money. So that's one example where this can be bad. And you're probably in the comments yelling at me because yes, I am cherry picking these hands. I understand that. I'm just trying to find out maybe why it might be better to not play this compared to regular blackjack. All right, let's look at another example of Double Down Madness and why it's not that great of a game. Let's say I have a 2 versus a dealer's 5. Now, this is not a double. This is just a hit according to Michael Shackelford's chart here on the screen. All right, so we're going to hit this. However, remember at any point we can double down. So now that I have 2 cards, a 10 versus dealer's 5, this is a double down. So let's put out another $100 there. And we're going to double that. Hey, 20, that's a pretty good hand. So we're going to stand and hopefully we can make $200. Dealer, however, has 15 and 22. So unfortunately, another rule about Double Down Madness that gives the edge to the casino, this is probably the biggest deal, is that on 22s, when the dealer has 22, you don't win or lose, it's just a push. Now, oftentimes there'll be a side bet here that maybe you can bet that says push 22, and if you play that, it pays out 11 to 1, which kind of tells me that there's, maybe about every 11 hands or so, or maybe 10, maybe a little less since the casino has to make money on it, the dealer is likely to get 22. which is kind of a big deal, right? Because normally in normal blackjack, this would be a bust. We would win $200, whereas here you don't win or lose anything, and the dealer actually did go over the 21 amount. All right, so that's another reason that this is a terrible game. Let's try another one here, and that is if you start with an 8 and dealer has a 7. Believe it or not, according to the chart, this is a double down. I would have never guessed that, but it is. All right, so let's see what happens. We double that, now we get 10. So you can double down, double, right? The kind of only caveat is we had 100 out there to start with. We doubled it to have 200. Well, if I double that, that is 400. And these are all your chips to start with. You haven't gotten anything from the dealer yet. So you're risking $400 on a 10 versus dealer 7, whereas your kind of base unit might have been just 100. All right, so let's double that again. I don't know if we do it this way or this way. I haven't dealt this enough, but I'll go this way. All right, now we have 14 versus dealer 7, which is a hit according to their basic strategy. And we went over. So even though we have 22 this time, we don't get the push feature. We actually lose as we're playing to get to 21. The dealer can get to 21 or 22, and that does not affect them. They would have had 17. So unfortunately, that one was a loss. Another reason why this game is very bad. All right, let's try one last example here, and then we'll kind of get into some gameplay and see how regular blackjack versus double down madness is different over the long run. Okay, in this one, we get dealer's card, our card, and like this. 2 versus dealer 6. This is a double down. All right, so we double it. Now a soft 13 versus dealer 6 is also a double down, so we have to do the same thing as last time. Now we're risking $400. And a soft 17 versus dealer 6, you guessed it, is a double down. So we started with 100 out there, and now all of a sudden we have 800. By the way, some dealers will stack the first double and then the second double like this. And so we have, I guess, the first, second, third double downs. So we have doubled each of these. Can't bust, which is nice. So we have a soft 17. Now I have 19. Okay, so hey, we're looking pretty good. We could win potentially $400, $500, $600, $700, $800 if the dealer busts or is less than 19. Let's see if it happens here. We got 10 and oh no, 20. So just like that, you lost $800 when your initial bet was just 100. So again, this game is really bad for those reasons. Now, in regular blackjack, like I said, when you can split, you're playing 2 hands individually. When you double down, you just double down once, you get one more card. You're only risking that one extra bet. This is way more risky. Yes, the variance can be good for you. You could win that, right? They could have pulled something like a 7 here and won. But this game is just really risky. All right, I want to move into kind of some gameplay now. All right, I got our original kind of 40 chips set out here, and from what I could find online, Double Down Madness is only available in 6 and 8 deck shoots. That's what I have for us. We're gonna be playing through 3 shoes of these. I'm gonna throw this into a hyperlapse so I don't waste your time. But I'm gonna play 3 shoes of regular blackjack, just basic strategy with a $100 unit. And if I need to split, I'll split. If I need to double, I'll double, just like normal blackjack rules go. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing with Double Down Madness rules with, again, those strategy charts, those basic strategy charts from Michael Shackelford at Wizard of Odds. All right, we're playing with the same exact cards. I'll shuffle them each time. We'll have the same penetration or same cutoff. I'm not counting cards. I'm not raising and lowering my bets. It's just all gonna be with a $100 unit there. And after about 3 shoes, we'll see if that 2% house edge that Double Down Madness has compared to the 0.5% house edge that regular blackjack has, if that kind of catches up or not. If I need to add some more chips here, let's do this. I'll give another 2, 3, 4, another 5,000. We need to tap into that because those $100 chips might go fast. We end up doubling quite a bit. So we're doing the regular first, and then I'll be back at the end with the odds of these. If you really want to slow it down and see every hand, feel free. All right, this is why I love the game of blackjack. 'Cause remember, we started with 4 piles of 100s here. These are all that I got on blackjack, which happened 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And so if I replace those with 300s instead of those $25 chips, we are literally right where we started. Okay, and so after 3 shoes, that 0.5%, again, really close to 50-50. We're only at a 0.5 disadvantage for regular blackjack. We didn't lose a single dime. All right, now I'm gonna do the same thing for double down madness. I cannot go near as fast because I'm gonna have to look at my charts, which I have kind of behind the camera here. So bear with me. I'll try to speed this up again so it doesn't waste your whole time. But I am guessing that it's going to be far less chips when we're done with those 3 shoes. All right, that's the last hand of the double down madness, and my goodness, it made quite the comeback there. I almost stopped after 2 shoes, 2 6-deck shoes, because we were somewhere in the neighborhood of about there, I believe, and then it went all the way down where I think I might have even taken 1 or maybe ended the third to last pile. And anyway, we're all the way back to only being down, I think it's 1 short, so 11 chips. We're missing the 4th pile, and we're 1 chip short on this one. So the swings are way different, or way bigger, I should say, in double down madness. However, remember, it's only about 2% disadvantage, which still is okay. There's other games out there that are way worse, like roulette, that have worse odds than this game. And so that said, you still want to play regular blackjack. The pile on that one, we did lose a full stack, and then we gained it all the way back. We actually ended up breaking totally even on the regular blackjack. This one we did lose 1 full stack and 1 chip, so $1,100 there, which you never want to lose over $1,000, or you could say that's 11 units if we're betting these $100 chips. So there was a couple instances where I wasn't quite sure what the rules called for. Maybe you guys know a little bit better. You can maybe let me know down below in the comments. But a lot of times when they would get an ace, I've heard, let me see if I can get one here. Yeah, so let's say they have an ace and we have or you have an ace, I should say, and the dealer has a 10. Well, if you flip, because you probably want to double down, right? That's like 11. And so if you double this, I've heard differing things. I've heard that if you don't double and you get blackjack, then you get paid your 3-2. But I've also seen on a video from an actual casino that someone did double this down, and then they got paid 3-2 on that. Now, I think in that case at the casino, the dealer did not have 21, or actually, this is a good point, or 22. Remember, this would be a push in that case. So let me know how, if you've played this before, how are blackjacks handled? Can you double and still get paid 3-2? If the dealer pulls a 22 when you have the 21, is it still considered a push with that natural blackjack? I guess I'm not too familiar with that. So that might affect a few of the payouts there. I think there was maybe one instance where the dealer had 22 and we got a blackjack. So otherwise I was paying out the full 3-2 after the double downs. So you can let me know that down below. Otherwise, guys, this is not a game that you want to play. It's just so bad of odds compared to regular blackjack. I would highly encourage you to learn how to count cards. In fact, right now on my Patreon, I have built a bankroll from 25,000 all the way up to almost 34,000 in just about 30 episodes. And so every single week on there, I'm doing 4 shoes of double deck blackjack. In fact, this next week, we're going to resize our bets there and kind of work with this new bankroll. And if you are interested in that, the lowest tier, which is just $5, gets you access to that. However, if you want the next middle tier up in my Patreon, that also gets you access to all the slots that I have covered. I do about one of those new slots every week. Yes, there are such things as advantage slot machines. It just has to deal with must hit by numbers. I'll let you in on that little secret. But if you want to know exact plays and when to jump in, when to jump out, you can join me over my Patreon for the middle tier of that. Otherwise, guys, until next time, remember, this is A1 Blackjack.